4 survivors, not quite green, but by no means experienced, set off with the hopes of their settlement upon their back, to hunt and kill what we now know as the Phoenix. It all started when a bolt of energy vaporized the air in an explosion of darkness. The skies above bubbled and murmured, and then the rains came. Amidst the gentle drops of water, floating down from the heavens, a single feather drifted towards the ground. As all gazed towards it, lantern light hit its surface, and strange, iridescent light scattered around the settlement. A rising energy overcame everyone. Something mysterious, something powerful, and terrifying had appeared before them. But a few kept calm and stayed their primal urges, when they could have easily succumbed to corruption and frenzy. Instead, they reveled in a new mystery in the world and a new desire to find the origin of the feather and claim many more as their prize, to assert themselves as superior and rise to the apex of the world. But those survivors never returned, and for all their settlement knows, they were killed. But they were not. They were not defeated, nor were they victorious. In their heated showdown, the Phoenix revealed its tremendous capabilities and sent them spiraling from time and space into a new world, a seemingly younger world where they, our beloved champions, founded this very settlement. Whilst unnerving at first, and a struggle to deal with the loss of all their friends and family, the dramatic event turned into a gift, more so than a curse. The world around them had been growing increasingly dangerous, more powerful threats appearing, more disastrous events occurring. Then suddenly they found themselves in a world not quite as advanced and dangerous, with all of their years of experience, their equipment and knowledge still intact. Although you're about to step out to confront the Phoenix yourself for the very first time, do not fear. You are leaving well equipped and well prepared for a creature whose arrogance will not have it ready for this confrontation. So if you move fast, do not hesitate, and act as you've been taught, you'll be fine. But let's recount, this one final time, the true power of the Phoenix. Of course, we start with the most obvious and terrifying characteristic of all, its ability to manipulate both time and space. Where it develops such capacity is a mystery. Some point to the unfathomably dense crown upon its head as an obvious place to start. Its mere presence, a dark, mysterious orb, is hard to even look at, as if it wasn't there at all. But perhaps that is our human bias, giving special attention to a crown, the source of a ruler's powers. Others suggest it is within the Phoenix's digestive system, as excrement-covered fields have a tendency for flourishing patches of plants right next to decayed and dying plants. Survivors on the hunt, after seeing darkness wobbling in the sky, have been hit by droppings, and reported in some cases their weapons have repaired and sharpened themselves. Others say their armor decayed the instant it was touched. There are also disturbing claims that some have been caught inside the Phoenix. When attacking from its blind spot, they have been pulled in at the wrong end, and some have emerged older, wiser. Wise enough at least to know not to stand behind the Phoenix again, but sometimes they emerge crippled with age. This would lead credibility to the findings of Phoenix droppings that appear to be almost fossilized or mummified. Neither explains the full picture, because even exposure to the Phoenix at a distance can start to cause wobbles in space-time. The longer you spend around it, the more you will feel realities colliding and trying to converge. The only consistency we find is the random coin flip, like the splitting of a wishbone, where all things related to the Phoenix time powers fork and take one of two directions. Not to oversimplify things, but one path is usually very good, and the other is usually very bad. Flourish or starve, restore or decay, live or die. One thing we have discovered is that your exposure to our world, your mind's building insanity that protects it from this living plane, can have an impact on the Phoenix powers. The world as we know it is not logical. It is not linear. and the more your mind struggles to force this logic, the more it suffers. As you grow experienced, as you grow accustomed to this world, you start to follow its nature, and you yourself become non-logical, non-linear. This appears to make the ability to merge you into a new, different timeline increasingly difficult for the Phoenix. But you, truth be told, are not too accustomed to this world yet. Granted, this is a disadvantage when confronting the Phoenix. Drawing nearer the beast, you may find yourself inside the Phoenix zone, so be mindful of your step and watch the air around you. The presence of the bird alone is enough to cause wobbles in space and time, and in an instant, one wrong step and a bright, blinding bubble of vacuous space can trap you and leave you as little more than an infant, far from home and all alone. So you must support each other, be each other's eyes and ears as you get closer to the Phoenix. If you do as you've learnt, it should not be too problematic, as there is no intent to stay within its presence for very long. But a plan is easier said than actioned, however, and the closer you get, the more your instincts will take hold. As you near its nest, the Phoenix will fill the horizon of your mind. Complex and disturbing, your very essence will seem to flicker like a dying lantern. A perfect mixture of excitement and dread will shake up your insides, and before you realize it, you'll find yourself stepping towards a battle with the great Phoenix, perched upon its nightmare tree. So you loose your first arrow, take your first swing with an axe, and then discover for yourself the real difference between you and the great bird. You'll need to cling to the strategy you have prepared, because if you find yourself overwhelmed, then you'll find yourself easily overcome. Like a cosmic entity, the Phoenix will likely fail to even acknowledge your presence, in the same way we ignore the flies that buzz around our eyes and head. So you can either fall in its presence, or you can stick to the plan and use its arrogance to your advantage. Use your immaturity to your advantage. Simply put, the Phoenix can suffer from tunnel vision when you do manage to bestow a few wounds. Pain will damage its ego, and against its own interests, it will pursue its most recent source of harm. The Phoenix will fly towards you, or manipulate space, and materialize out of thin air, striking with its large wings, creating gusts of razor-like wind, or planting a direct peck, piercing and destroying your armor before puncturing your flesh below. But to know the enemy's thoughts and actions is to know the path to victory. Control the Phoenix, manipulate its target, spread the damage across your whole party, and attack with unrelenting furiosity. Nothing will guarantee your death more than a slow, drawn-out battle with the beast. Exposure to its reality-altering aura will compound over time, aging you, weakening you, and eventually spiraling out of control. This is the threat our founders faced, but they were lucky. Most simply ceased to exist. So move fast. Always have the next chance to wound on your mind. Even as your last blow is seemingly erased from history as if nothing happened, continue to charge forwards. You will soon get used to the disorienting feeling. As the showdown continues on, your exposure will grow and the stability of reality will twitch and flicker. You'll feel as if you're attacking and not attacking, living and dying, growing and shrinking all at once. But from that twisted realm, a new future will start to become clearer, more pronounced. Your mind is inexperienced, your reliance on reality too prominent. You are predictable, and the Phoenix can grasp your certain future and will begin pulling you into it. There is no way to escape, other than a quick victory. But you can claim it, and when you do, there are bountiful rewards to claim. Just be mindful, as you approach the corpse of the bird that you've been out and faced down the Phoenix before. Its existence will not surprise you. You know what to expect. But I can hear the questions ticking away in the back of your mind. You've killed it, seen its corpse, stripped it for resources. So how is it still out there? Are there hundreds of these birds? Possibly. It may just be another creature, like the lions and the antelopes. But it certainly feels different. It feels special. As if it always knows you, has always known you. And you'll never see two together at the same time. Perhaps then, there is just one. One Phoenix physics across infinite timelines, popping in and out, moving backwards and forwards through time. You know as well as I, the world does not follow a logical order, and there is nothing which says the same phoenix could not be both alive and dead. Every encounter existing in both victory and defeat, every option a fork in the garden path, until you actually live out the moment and everything collapses into a more certain journey. And although you experience the victory, perhaps so does the phoenix at the same time, in an equally real, yet distinct instance. Such is the nature of the beast, and so is the uncertain nature of the world around us. This may explain its arrogance, its nonchalant approach to combat as if it had no fear of death. Perhaps there is no fear of death. By its very nature, it may always choose the path to victory, provided there is one. And with these eternally occurring victories, the phoenix has had the chance to grow wiser, stronger, older, and far more capable. As you continue to follow its trail, stumbling ever more into half-fertile fields, its increased capabilities leave you more exposed to powerful wind tunnels, slowing you down, making it harder to keep track without being well trained and prepared. As you know, despite being well equipped and your mind walking the fine line between experience and the uncertainty vital for survival against the phoenix, there is no certainty when you step out to hunt this creature. You are always at the whim of the cosmic horror, and you can do nothing but pray. Although we've experienced many successful hunts, it is important we don't lose sight of that danger. I've heard some say they've found other settlements, fallen into ruin and disrepair. Whilst everything around is decaying and collapsing, they found amidst the chaos a single phoenix feather, glowing, beautiful, iridescent. And in its glow, ghostly images of frozen worshippers. Just as we have taken comfort around the glowing lanterns, some may have built their settlements around a phoenix feather. Something so beautiful, leaving them as a people of the ashes, with no chance of rebirth. Even still, long after everything had fallen into ruin, its presence emanating ripples through space and time. They say it showed the settlement still as it was, in a ghostly haze somewhere else some time past. Perhaps is our own settlement even, in another day and at another time. There is something alluring in that idea, but be careful when you reach out to grab it. You may find yourself entirely lost to its magnetism. I beg that you remind yourself, what is one feather compared to the full plume? You have your eyes on the bigger prize, the heavy crown or the iron skull and metallic eyes, those unnatural elements which are as mysterious as they are useful. So keep your mind on the plan. Do what you've done many times before, and abuse the arrogance of the phoenix in order to lure him into a trap. And exercise caution as you discover the parts of the phoenix that are not so powerful or well protected. You may use your mastery of the spear to strike a precise blow to the phoenix armpit, causing significant lasting damage as it punctures the liver below. Or give the phoenix a taste of its own medicine. Utilize the spoils of your victory over the lion and peer into the near future, setting your archer up for a precision arrow strike directly into the phoenix's mercury eyes. But the bird knows its own weaknesses too, and suddenly your real threat will catch its attention, even if you do fail to land a lasting blow. You may even want to turn away if you find yourself locking eyes with the phoenix. You don't know fear quite like that of a phoenix acknowledging your existence. And with the bird paying attention, things change. The pressure of your attacks will encourage it to try and find some breathing room to recoup its control, and it will turn itself into a storm, sending everything flying back, except those who find themselves right in the eye of it. So position yourself well when attacking. Likewise, proper preparation for what's to come can help considerably as the phoenix repositions, materializing as far from the attacker as possible. Move quickly and with certainty, and you'll follow it through its distortions in space, ready to keep its attention and land another blow. But apply too much pressure and see the phoenix unleash the full extent of its strength. As you begin to swing, you'll feel the world stop, and step by step, it will approach you. You won't be able to move, and it won't miss. A precise strike with immense strength will leave you lucky to be alive as its beak crushes into your skull or punctures your chest. The phoenix knows where you are weakest, and it will attempt to tear your heart from your chest as you stand there motionless. As time resumes around you, and you become aware of the gaping wound it's left, the human-like face from within the bird's beak will stare down, mocking you, and you'll wonder in your final moments, is this the face of someone you know? Someone you love? Is it there to intimidate you, the way a butterfly has patterns upon its wings? Or is this the face of something that was once human, once like you many eons ago, and this face is the remnant of all that's left? As it leans down, whispering something in the back of your mind, suddenly you'll no longer know who you are, what you are. You'll have no strength to resist, no fight left in you at all, and you'll wonder what it's all for. The steady pulse of your lantern will fade, your future death plummeting towards the present, and as it's about to turn black, the beast will cry and collapse in front of you. Even if you no longer know who you are, or why you're there, you will have done your job and taken the beast's attention long enough for your party to finish it off. You did your job, and reality slowly returns to the landscape around you. Whoever you are, all you know is you have a powerful desire to strip the corpse of the beast before you, so approach it. And how long has it been? You masters of your craft, old legends amongst your settlement? How long has it been since you last faced down the phoenix, all those years ago? Do you still remember the rancid melon stench that came from the phoenix as it unleashed waves of corrosive acid from the pustules that cover its body? Can you still hear the eternal chattering from the hazy ether that surrounds the phoenix, seeming to drag and slow your movements? Do you still remember the feeling of sublime dread as it, seemingly bored, suddenly appeared behind you and crushed you beneath its wings before you had a chance to even react? Do you remember the taste in the air as the phoenix took all that had transpired and reversed it as if nothing had ever happened, emitting such an aura that to even stand close to the bird was almost impossible without collapsing to your knees? There is no choice. We've contested this beast for an eternity, and now is the time to end it once and for all. You step out to confront this golden-eyed king of 1,000 years. But just as we have built experience and understanding, equipped ourselves with every piece of equipment we can, the Phoenix too has everything it needs to defeat us. It has lived 1,000 years, fought 1,000 battles in 1,000 more timelines, and it has reached its apex. This is it. At last, respecting your power at the very end, the Phoenix is going to give you everything it's got. It will try to pull you from time, it will try to ambush you and buy itself every advantage. It knows this is the end. Every ounce of energy will have it unceasingly move around you, disappearing and materializing behind whoever it sees as the biggest threat, and exercising extreme precision in an attempt to crack your skull with a single strike. It will be unrelenting, like trying to fight a storm of lightning. Honing its abilities with a simple gaze, ancient and refined, the Phoenix will tear your reality asunder and send you spiraling through time. Even a brief glimpse as you stand eye to eye with the beast will cause your body to decay from the inside out. The death of many of you is certain, but there only has to be one left standing at the end. And do not think this is just nature. This is personal. Like a Promethean eagle, the Phoenix will try to rip your insides out as punishment for approaching its fire, its power and rule of the natural world. You've seen the monster many times before change in combat, but only here, only at the very end, does it suddenly seem infinitely older and infinitely wiser by the second, desperately collapsing every possible future down to the one where it thinks it can win. The Phoenix reaching towards its ultimate form, refusing to give up its position at the top of the food chain. But all you have to do is land that one final blow to end it all, and erase the phoenix from... There's nothing more to do than to wish you the best of luck as you wander off into the darkness, unavoidably unprepared to confront the great monster that dropped this feather into our settlement. Go, off into the unknown, and be reborn as legends as you hunt the monster which has bestowed such a beautiful feather onto our settlement. It is your prize to claim, and for you to write your name into our history forever.